Good evening, everyone. I'll call this City Council to order at 8 p.m. on Monday evening, October 2nd, 2023. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We have 10 items on this evening's agenda, and I will ask the city clerk to please read agenda item number 1.
Minutes of the City Council meeting, September 18th, 2023.
Councilor Dumas.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move to accept and place on file.
Motion made and seconded to accept and place on file the minutes. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? The minutes are filed 11-0. Agenda item number 2.
Now is the time for the public hearing on the proposed zoning amendment to Chapter 650 zoning of the code to add a new section to create the Red Spring Road Overlay District, order number 23-100, 8951.
Councilor Orr, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Mr. President. We chatted a little bit. I'm a direct abutter to this project, so I will have no involvement, and I will be recusing myself from this quick portion of the agenda.
We'll have the record reflect that Councilor Orr will not be participating in agenda item number 2. Councilor Roby.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move to open the public hearing with no testimony and continue till October 23rd.
Okay, this public hearing will be opened, but we're not going to take any testimony. We'll continue it till October 23rd. Is there any discussion on the motion? And it's continued to October 23rd at 8 p.m. Everybody good? All those in favor? Opposed? The public hearing is continued until Monday, October 23rd at 8 p.m. The vote is 10-0, 1 abstain. Agenda item number 3.
Now is the time for the public hearing on the application for a special permit from Attorney Brian Falk on behalf of Somar Landscape, Inc. to construct and operate a landscaper's yard at the Airport Industrial Park, 59 Airport Boulevard, Unit 16, order number 23-100, 8965.
Councilor Roby.
Thank you, Mr. President. A public hearing was set for this. There were some mistakes made with the posting, and so I moved to reschedule this public hearing to October 23rd at 8 p.m.
Motion made and seconded to reschedule the public hearing till Monday, October 23rd at 8 p.m. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? The public hearing is rescheduled to Monday, October 23rd at 8 p.m. The vote's 11-0. Agenda item number 4. Communication
from City Clerk Stephen Kerrigan regarding the preliminary municipal election call.
Councilor Brown.
Thank you, President Ossing. I would like to please ask the clerk to read the communication and then move to accept and place on file the communication.
Motion's been made and seconded to have the clerk read the communication and then file. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Opposed? It's filed 11-0, and I'll ask the clerk to please read the communication.
City Clerk, being is hereby authorized to direct and warn and notify the voters of the City of Marlborough duly qualified to vote in the preliminary municipal election to assemble in their respective polling places as designated by the City Council as follows. Ward 1, Precincts 1 and 2 at the Francis J. Kane School, 520 Farm Road. Ward 2, Precincts 1 and 2 at the Francis J. Kane School, 520 Farm Road. Ward 3, Precinct 1 at the Senior Center, 40 New Street. Ward 3, Precinct 2 at the Raymond J. Richer School, 80 Foley Road. Ward 4, Precinct 1 and 2 at the Senior Center at 40 New Street. Ward 5, Precinct 1 and 2 at the Masonic Lodge at 8 Newton Street. Ward 6, Precinct 1 and 2 at the First Lieutenant Charles Whitcomb School at 25 Union Street, and the Ward 7, Precinct 1 and 2 at the Hildreth School, 85 Sawin Street. On Tuesday, October 10th, 2023, then and there for the purpose of casting their votes for the candidates for the office of mayor, who are as follows. J. Christian Dumas at 139R South Street, Michael A. Baker of 25 Gibbon Street, Patrick M. Hogan of 6 Sawin Street, and Samantha Perlman of 15 Belmont Street, Unit 2. It is further ordered that the polling place legally designated by the City Council be open at 7 o'clock in the forenoon and be closed at 8 o'clock in the evening. The City Clerk be and is hereby authorized to cause notice of this to be given by publication of this order in a local newspaper and by posting a copy of the same in a conspicuous place in the office of the City Clerk.
And all that was done.
And all that was done, yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Agenda item number 5.
Communication for the Building Commissioner, Tin Tway, regarding a request for approval of a master sign plan for various internally illuminated wall and freestanding signs for Green Gold Group at 910 Boston Post Road East within the Wayside District.
Councilor Roby.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move to refer this to Urban Affairs Committee, please.
Motion made and seconded to refer this item to the Urban Affairs Committee. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? It's going to Urban Affairs 11-0. Agenda item number 6.
Communication from the Department of Environmental Protection regarding adoption of new regulations relating to reporting requirements for large entity vehicle fleet owners.
Councilor Brown.
Thank you, President Ossing. I move to send the communication to the mayor, DPW, and the conservation officer.
Motion made and seconded to send the communication to the mayor, the DPW, and the Conservation Commission officer, and then file the communication. Any discussion on the motion? Councilor Orem.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just in a quick summary, this is an attempt from the state. They've been trying for years to look at buses, large vehicles, such as our dump trucks that plow the streets and so forth. They're trying to find out what we have in stock. Are they diesel? Most of them are. And see if there's possibilities of having charging stations that could handle larger vehicles, as the electrical vehicles are now getting into larger units, not just cars. So that was the intent, and I think it's a great effort on the state, and hopefully we keep moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Orem. Any additional discussion on the motion? On the motion to accept and place, well, to send to the mayor, the DPW, and the conservation officer, and then file the communication. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? It carries 11-0. Agenda item number 7.
Communication from Ambry Incorporated regarding notification of upcoming layoff of employees pursuant to the Worker Adjustment and Retraining Notification Act of 1988 at 53 Brigham Street.
Councilor Roby.
Thank you, Mr. President. It's unfortunate to talk about layoffs. Hopefully, they will get the money they're looking for. I move to accept and place on file the communication.
Motion made and seconded to accept and place on file the communication. Is there any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? The communication is filed. The vote 11-0. Agenda item number 8.
Minutes of boards, commissions, and committees.
Councilor Doucette.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Motion to accept and place on files the minutes of the boards, commissions, and committees.
Motion made and seconded to accept and place on file all the minutes. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? The minutes are filed. 11-0. Agenda item number 9.
Claims.
Mr. President,
Councilor Pearlman.
move to refer the claims to the legal department.
Motion made and seconded to refer the claims to the legal department. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Claims are going to legal. 11-0. Reports of committees. We'll start with Councilor Landers in Public Service.
Mr. President, I love going first. Public Service Committee meeting was held on September 26th. Got one item, order number 231008950. Petition from Mass Electric and Verizon to install a new joint-owned pole on High Street, approximately 300 feet east of the center line of the intersection of High Street and Bolton Street, and install a new manhole and underground conduit from the new pole to the new manhole and exit to the transformer on Exchange Street. We did have a public hearing on that. We did have communications, good communications, as we always do, from City Engineer Percio. And he stated that the work being done is a response to the request related to the proposed apartment building at 57 Main Street. Regardless of the possibility of that project moving forward, putting electric utility underground would be acceptable to the Department of Public Works. Mr. Percio added that the Engineering Division will approve the final location of the underground conduit in the field prior to the start of the construction, and that the attached standard condition should be first. Because when they talk about underground utilities, I love that, because 54 years ago, my neighborhood, new neighborhood, was the first one to put all utilities underground. And it's kind of nice. So, a motion by Councilor Irish, second by the Chair. Public Service Committee recommends the approval of the petition from Mass Electric and Verizon to install new joint poles on High Street. And the vote was 3-0. That's the end of my report.
Thank you, Councilor Landers. Any other reports of committees? Councilor Roby.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Urban Affairs Committee met on September 26th. We had one item on our agenda, order number 23108-952, the application for a special permit from Attorney Brian Falk on behalf of Post Road Realty LLC to construct a multifamily and commercial project in the Executive Residential Overlay District, which will consist of 475 residential units, 4,800 square feet of commercial space, 754 parking spaces, open space landscaping, and walking trails at Cimarron Drive, Cedar Hill Street, and Green District Boulevard. The chair opened the meeting and Attorney Falk reviewed the economic positives for the city, reviewing the current project's value and discussing potential value with the new project. The chair reviewed the comments from city department managers. Police Chief Georgie commented on the impact of vehicle congestion would be minimal for most traffic moving to and from Route 495, as well as the potential increase for service that comes from adding more residential units. Fire Chief Breen commented on the need to confirm fire apparatus movement and emergency access to the building in a new phase, but these can be discussed at site plan. And City Engineer DePercio offered several comments with proposals, which you have a copy of, and I am not going to list. Attorney Falk provided a revised decision on a special permit incorporating the comments. The chair began reviewing the draft. City Council is site plan issuing authority, but will incorporate comments from Site Plan Review Committee. But unlike Phase 1 and 2, where the special permit and site plans were reviewed together, the site plan will come before the City Council at a later date. The chair asked for discussion on number 5, affordable units, where the applicant requests to buy out 5% of the affordable housing units. After input from the developer and reminder this project is grandfathered for current zoning, all agreed to keep the buyout. Councilor Ossing had suggested a change to this section to strike and shall be payable to a fund or funds designated by the City Council prior to submission, and replace with and shall be deposited into the Westside Fire Station stabilization account 83600-32900, and it was agreed by the committee to make the changes. A new number 6 Green District Boulevard relocation was added to convey request from engineering. A number 7 crosswalk installation was added. A new number 8 drainage assessment was added. A new number 9 green design was added, and I do state it was by developer's attorney, but I did not see that Priscilla Ryder had actually sent an email, and she was the one who had requested that. Councilor Doucette moved to recommend approval of the draft decision on a special permit as amended. The motion was seconded and carried. I'm asking for suspension tonight so this can get referred to the solicitor to be put in proper form.
Chair of Urban Affairs has asked for suspension of the rules. All those in favor of the suspension? Opposed? The suspension carries 11-0. Councilor Roby.
Move to refer to the solicitor to be put in proper form.
Motion made and seconded to refer to the solicitor, put in proper format. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? It's going to the solicitor, put in proper format. The vote's 11-0. Any other reports of committee? Councilor Irish.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to ask for a suspension this evening. The councilors did receive all the items in our mailboxes, so this evening I will ask for a suspension to advertise, please.
The Chair of Finance has asked for suspension of the rules. Any discussion on the suspension? Seeing none, all those in favor of the suspension? Opposed? Suspension carries 11-0. Councilor Irish.
Thank you, Mr. President. Motion to advertise, please.
Motion made and seconded to advertise. It's Order 8938, and just to refresh everybody, it's the Library Head of Adult Services and Technology, the Library Program and Outreach Librarian, the Library Page, the Houseworker, and the Plumber, just so everybody knows what's in the letter and what's going to be advertised. Any discussion on the advertising? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Advertising is approved, 11-0. Any other reports of committees? Councilor Irish.
Thank you, Mr. President. Public service announcement. Finance Committee will be meeting on October 16th, 2023 at 7 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Irish. Any other reports of committees? Seeing none, agenda item number 10.
Order number 23-100-8961, a transfer request in the amount of $4,925,000 from an undesignated fund to public safety equipment for public safety communication upgrades. Recommendation of the Finance Committee is to file.
Councilor Irish.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move the recommendation of committee to accept and place on file, please.
Motion made and seconded to accept and place on file the Finance Committee's recommendation. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? The Finance Committee recommendation is filed, 11-0. Councilor Dumas.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move to adjourn.
Motion's made and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor of adjourning? Opposed? We are adjourned at 8:14. Thank you, everyone. Have a great evening.
That's a record breaker.